I've said in my area council, it's either you're doing APC or leave the area council. I'm not arguing.
The politician at the center of this controversy is Samuel Danjuma Shebolo, the chairman of Kuje Area Council in the Federal Capital Territory. Kuje is one of the area council that make up the FCT. According to a report established on August 25th, 2026, Shebolo made the controversial remarks in a video circulating on social media. His comments were made in the context of preparation for the 2027 general elections, with political mobilization already increasing across Nigeria. The chairman was specifically talking about support for the ruling All Progressive Congress, or APC, the President Bola Tinubu expected bid for another term. And his message was unusually direct. He said, "I have said in my area council that it's either you are for APC or you leave the area council. I am not arguing about it at all." He then explained why he believed President should support the party. Shebolo's argument was based largely on what he described as governmental projects carried out by President Tinubu and FCT Minister Nation Wike in Kuje. His position was essentially, if the federal government and the FCT administration are bringing development projects to the area, residents should support the political party responsible for those interventions. He questioned why residents should accept projects from the government and then vote against the APC during an election. In his report, he said, "I cannot have the minister and the president doing what they are doing. Then, on the day of the election, you will now say you want to match me. I will not agree." That gives us an important insight into the chairman's thinking. He appears to view the political support as something that should be connected to government development, but that raises another question. Let's think about this carefully. If a government builds a road in your community, improves infrastructure, or carries out another developmental project, does that mean you are obligated to vote for that government? Politically, supporters of the government may say yes. The argument would be, we deliver something for you, show appreciation at the ballot box. But democracy works differently from a simple transaction. A voter can appreciate a government project and still disagree with the government on other issues. A resident can take a road project but dislike the government economic policies. A person can support government today and vote against it tomorrow. And a voter can oppose a political party while still acknowledging that some of these projects are beneficial. That is one of the fundamental features of elections. The ballot is supposed to give citizens a choice. Perhaps the most striking part of Shebolo's statement was the final line. He said, "It's either you are with us or you are against us." That kind of language immediately creates a very strong political divide. There is no middle ground, no room for independent voters, no room for someone who supports one APC policy but disagrees with other, no room for someone who wants to vote for another candidate. You are either with us or against us. And that is why the statement has attracted attention, because Nigeria is a multi-party democracy. There are different political parties, there are different candidates, and millions of Nigerians have different political opinions. This is where we need to separate political rhetoric from legal reality. The report described Shebolo was warning residents who oppose APC that they should leave the area council. But report do not establish that residents are legally required to support APC, or that the chairman has a lawful power to expel residents simply because of their political opinions. That's an important distinction. A political leader can make a controversial statement that doesn't automatically turn the statement into law. So viewers should be careful when discussing this story. The accurate description is, the Kuje Area Council chairman said residents should not support APC. Residents would not support APC should leave the area council. We should not turn that into residents have been legally ordered to leave Kuje. Those are two completely different claims. Now, let's look at the timing. Nigeria's next general election is scheduled for 2027. The political activity is already intensifying. Political parties are organizing, politicians are building alliances, supporters are mobilizing, and the APC is preparing to defend its position at the federal level. That means statements like this are likely to be isolated. As the election gets closer, Nigerians will hear more aggressive political messaging from both ruling party supporters and opposing groups. The real question will be whether the political competition remains focused on policies, records, ideas, performance, or whether it becomes increasingly focused on, if you are not with us, you are against us. To understand the controversy fairly, we also need to understand the argument from APC side. Shebolo's position is essential that the Tinubu administration and the FCT administration have invested in Kuje. If residents are benefiting from those projects, he believes they should recognize the government through political support. This is a familiar argument in Nigerian politics. Politicians frequently campaign by pointing to projects completed during their time in office. They say, "Look at what we have done," and then they ask voters to reward them at the ballot box. That is a legitimate political argument. The problem begins when political support is presented as though it is mandatory, because voters are not employees of political parties, they are citizens. Now imagine the position of Kuje resident who disagrees with APC. That person might say, yes, I appreciate the road, yes, I appreciate the infrastructure, yes, I acknowledge the government project, but I still don't want to vote for APC. Is that person automatically against development? Not necessary. They might have other concerns. They might be unhappy about the economy. They might be disagreement with the government policy. They might prefer another candidate, or they might simply exercise their constitutional right to choose another political party. That's the basic principle behind voting. You don't have to agree with the government simply because you live in an area where the government has completed the project. There is another important part of election that often gets overlooked. Voting is conducted through a secret ballot. That means political leaders should not assume they know exactly how every resident will vote. Someone can attend a political gathering. Someone can praise a government project. Someone can even appear to support a political publicly, but that happens inside the voting booth is a different matter. Ultimately, voters make their individual choices, and that is why political campaigns are supposed to persuade people rather than simply command them. Political language like this can make democracy more hostile. Once politicians divide citizens into two groups, supporters and enemies, political disagreement can become personal. Instead of why do you disagree with our policy, the conversation becomes why are you against us? That can make reasonable political debate much harder. And Nigeria has enough serious problems that political discussions need to be based on evidence. The economy, the security, education, healthcare, infrastructure, employment, energy, food prices, transportation. These issues affect APC supporters, they affect opposition supporters, and they affect people who don't belong to the political party. If a politician tells you we build this, therefore vote for us, there is nothing wrong with asking questions. For example, how much did the project cost? Was it completed? Is it functioning? How many people are benefiting? What has changed since it was completed? What other problems remain? And then ask the same question on the opposition. If another candidate says the APC has failed, ask what exactly failed? What evidence supports that claim? What would you do differently? Would you would your course be? How would you implement it? That's how citizens turn elections into accountability. It would be easy to look at this story and say this is just one local chairman talking, making a controversial statement. But there is a broader lesson. Political leaders across Nigeria need to remember that citizens are not political property. People live in communities because they are citizens and residents, not because they have signed a contract promising to support a political party. A person can live in Kuja and support APC, another person can live in Kuja and support PDP, another can support Labour Party, another can support ADC, another person may not belong to any political party at all. That diversity is normal in a democracy. The question now is whether this statement will simply disappear after generating attention online, or whether it will trigger a broader political response. Opposition politicians could use the statement to accuse the APC of intolerance. APC supporters could argue that the chairman has expressed simply expressing the political position and defending the administration development record, and residents themselves may ultimately have the final word at the ballot box. As 2027 approaches, expect more arguments over development projects, government performance, and political loyalty, and expect politicians to increasingly support to their records as they ask voters to support. So, what should we take away from this story? The chairman of Kuje Area Council, somewhere, Danjuma Shekolo, has made a very strong political statement. He says residents should either support APC or leave the area council. He has justified his position by pointing to developmental projects associated with President Bola Tinubu and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. But the bigger democratic question is simple. Should citizens be allowed to appreciate government projects while still choosing whichever candidate they believe deserve their vote? I believe that the question Nigerians should be debating, because food belongs to the public, schools belongs to the public infrastructure belongs to the people, and election belongs to the voters. A government should be able to say, look at what we have achieved, vote for us. But the citizens should always be able to respond. I have seen what you've achieved. Now let me decide whether you deserve my vote. That is the essence of an election. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Kuje chairman statement? Was he simply defending APC record, or did he go too far by telling residents who disagree with the party to leave? Drop your comments. And if you want detailed Nigeria political news that goes beyond the headline, explaining what happened, the different side, and what it could mean for 2027, subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.